What's up, y'all? This is Musiq Soulchild, and you already know I got soul. And you checking it right here on YouKnowIGotSoul.com.
All right, Musiq. So your new book, 143, is out now. Just tell us a little bit about the book.
143, Love According to Music, is a book about love, and it's intended to assist people in becoming better lovers, and not just in the bedroom, just as a person who loves. And if you have advanced intentions on becoming a person who loves better, or a better person to love, to give and receive love, then this book, I pray that this book helps you.
Yeah. I read in another interview you did, the book talks about how your music was affected by love and relationships, and also about how your music affected others' love and relationships. Can you go into that a little bit?
Yeah, my music is a direct representation, in essence, not autobiographically, but just in essence of the lessons that I've learned in my experiences in dealing with love. My music is a direct reflection of my experiences, not necessarily verbatim. They're not They're not an autobiography of my life. However, the lesson that I've learned in those experiences is what I use as motivation and inspiration for the songs that I write and sing and perform. And also this book as well. This book is definitely a representation. It's actually a culmination of information that I've gathered so far in dealing with love. And yeah, I think that it's important that people are introduced to the many different perspectives on how to deal and engage with this love thing, because we've been so desensitized with a lot of stuff that we hear in these fairy tale-esque type songs and what we see in these movies and TV shows and whatever. And not to discredit it or condemn them. It's just that when you really, it's one thing to see something and imagine something. It's a whole nother thing to actually deal with it in real life. So I guess in a way, my music and also this book, I'm hoping that it will sort of serve as a bridge between the fantasy and the reality of love, so to speak.
Cool. And you're so deep in your music career. It's been over a decade now. When did you first, get the motivation to want to do a book and venture into that?
To be honest, I still don't have the motivation to want to do a book. The thing about it is, I was approached by the people that did Pub, and those are the publishing company that was really interested in working with me on this book thing. And they were like, dude, you got a book, you already got it, and we put out books, so we know. We see potential, and all we need you to do is get on board, and we'll help you figure out the rest. And I was like, all right, cool. But before then, I had so many people, come up to me and was like, yo, man, you should put out a book. Because I would talk to people so much about love. I would have these random conversations with random people at like meet and greets or in passing. And, love is a very, very passionate subject for me. I can go on and on and on and on and on about love. So people will always just say, like, dude, so when's the book coming out? I'm like, what book? Like, dude, you should write a book.
Yeah.
So one thing led to another, was put in my path, and I said, okay, let's do it. I was just a little apprehensive about it, because you got a whole lot of naysayers, and like, okay, just because you wrote a whole bunch of love songs, that don't make you the authority on love. Like, who are you to tell me about my love? It's like, I'm not trying to tell you anything. All I'm doing is, I'm presenting my opinion, my thoughts, and my feelings about what I've been through, what I've experienced that has helped me. So maybe it may help you.
Just like you've been talking about, your lyrics and your music over the years have been so deep, so heartfelt, and people relate to them so much. What's it like pouring yourself into a book as opposed to pouring yourself into an individual song?
It's a different kind of process. It helps to have, someone else there, because if I had to write it from scratch, start to finish, it probably would have taken way longer. But one of the people, his name is Argus over at Dip Publishing, he's the editor-in-chief. He helped me to format it in book form. So, you know, I just put a whole bunch of stuff out. You know, I said, okay, let me take this and put it here. Let me take this and put it there. Blah blah blah. You know, and then he gives it back to me, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. All right, but I would say it like this, and I would say it like that, and you know, just to make sure the authenticity was maintained as far as it being something that's coming from me. So I definitely am really, really grateful for that, because that helped me to learn how to present my words and my thoughts and my feelings in a different light that I probably would have never thought of, you know, because I'm so stuck in song mode, you know. But book mode is something. So I see why people end up, you know, spending years writing. It's not easy. It's not, because your mind starts going and you want to change everything, and then you get another, because your life is still going, so you're still accumulating more information. So a 1-page chapter turns into a 5-page chapter, you know, and then you think, okay, I was starting writing one book, but then now I got all these other ideas. Now I got 5 books, okay, but each book don't have enough material, so I gotta, you know, it can get real stupid. So it helps to have people, you know, working on your behalf, and it also helps to stay focused on what the goal is, you know, to try to stay true to the mission, you know, because it's real easy to get sidetracked, especially as a creative person. We got that ADD, we got that addiction, you know. Yeah. So yeah, but I'm definitely grateful that it all came together and that you guys can go out and get it now.
Cool. You know, earlier this year there was some news you'd be taking a break a little bit from music and kind of focusing on writing and producing for other artists. Right. You know, obviously you had time to do the book and that type of thing. Is that still the plan? You know, how's that whole thing going?
Well, the thing is, it was never really the plan at all. You know, that was something that was a little misconstrued. I never planned to take a break. Okay. You know, I need for people to understand that, and I'm kind of thinking maybe I shouldn't have said anything at all. You know, because it's very challenging when people take your words and they don't really fully understand what the point of it was. But the plan wasn't to take a break. The plan was to focus more so on, along with what I'm already doing. So I'm not going to stop performing. I'm not going to stop recording. I'm not going to stop entertaining, you know. The plan was to put more attention on writing and producing for other people, along with what I'm already doing. You get what I'm saying, right? Yeah. Okay.
You know, one thing I wanted to ask you is, because I've talked to so many R&B artists who are independent now, there's only a few major label ones left, like yourself. Mm-hmm. They always give me the positive side of it from being an independent artist. You know, I'd like to hear your side of the story. What are the positives of being a major label artist in R&B?
The positive side of being a major label artist. Okay, you have an entire building of people. You have, you know, the actual personnel working on your behalf. You have access to resources that you otherwise would not have access to if you were independent. There is the weight of the name of the label. You know, when you want to get stuff pushed through, you don't have to work as hard. Something that being able to get something that resembles a budget. Yeah, that helps. Getting your music distributed effectively, getting your music played on the radio effectively. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah. It's it's a good business move to be with a major label simply because of the benefits a major label has to offer, potentially. However, it's a good creative move to be independent because you have full autonomy. You can do whatever you want to do, and you don't have anyone to necessarily bounce off ideas with an answer to, or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, it's a give and take either way.
Something I will say about your career, even though you've been on a major all these years, it has seemed like you have full creative control, and your music just, it hasn't really. It definitely.
I'm sorry,
sounds,
I don't mean to, you know, burst your bubble, but
okay.
Not at all. Everything that I've done in my career has been me conceding to the requests of the label and using my own presentation, you know, and I think that that's what it is that people are getting. They're getting my presentation. You know, they're getting my compassion for my audience, not allowing myself to do anything that's not worth you guys' time, you know, or money, of course. Rather, more so, actually. So everything that I've done, for the most part, have been me taking what's been given to me and making of it. I've been making lemonade for the past 12 years, basically. But my thing is, dude, I can make a mean sandwich too.
Yeah.
You know, as a matter of fact, I can make I can make a full course meal. I could cater an entire party. But all you guys have been exposed to was lemonade. So, in a way of saying.
I will say you definitely handled it a lot better than some other R&B artists who kind of tried to follow the trends and weren't successful or got disgruntled, and you kind of, you know, just went with it and created the best music.
I did the best because I've always been thinking about progress, you know, and I've been willing to sacrifice my creative, you know, endeavors in order to service my audience in the best way that I could, you know. Sometimes, most of the times, I didn't get my way, you know, but I didn't allow that to interfere with the progress that could have been made. You know, every song that I've recorded and performed and presented to you guys may not necessarily have been what I would have wanted to. However, I knew that there was something about it that you guys would have enjoyed. So I put my personal whatever's aside. Like, I probably wouldn't have chosen to put this song out, but I know people will like this song. So because I know people will like this song, I'm not going to half do it. I'm going to do it all the way, as if it's like the greatest song ever. Because I don't want to rob you guys, you know, of the experience. And hopefully, at some point, I'll be able to do what I really feel to do, and not have to worry so much about being accepted and being you know, accessible. That's the word I was looking for. You know, being played on the radio or it charting and, you know, being on billboards. Like, to be honest, I'm personally not really concerned about that, because all that does is it just showcases, you know, how you're faring with, you know, the game of this industry. I'm not concerned about that. I'm concerned about whatever it is that I can do that can have an impact on your life. You know, I want, because when I leave here, it doesn't really matter how many records I sold if you didn't care about what I did, you know. So I'm more interested in making music that's going to have a positive effect on you, you know, that's going to change your life in some way, somehow, for the better, you know. And if I never win a Grammy, if I never get a, you know, #1 single, I really don't know how to express how much I don't care. And this is no disrespect to the Grammy Foundation or the Billboard or anything like that. I just personally don't care, because, you know, the average person down the street they don't really care. They're not watching the charts. They don't really care. All they care about is if I'm listening to this song on the radio, or if I hear somebody playing, or if I found this on the internet somewhere, do I like this or not? And if I do, then cool. doesn't really matter how many records you sold. It doesn't really matter if anybody has ever heard of you. Only thing that matters to me is that this is changing my life right now. That's what I want to do. Because I think that that's the only thing that really matters. Like, for real, that's the only thing that really matters.
That's a great point. Let me just ask you one last question. You know, your debut, I Just Want to Sing, mentioned was over 10 years ago now. What was the creative process like on that? Did you have, you know, because many consider that a classic, you know, your best album. You know, how do you
The interesting thing about I Just Want to Sing was I wasn't planning on making an album. I was just recording songs. I wasn't thinking about, you know, as a matter of fact, when I got the deal, I was planning on going back in the studio and doing songs that were going to be for my album. I Just Want to Sing was just songs, and that's the reason why it was named I Just Want to Sing, was because when I was recording those songs, that's where my head was. I had access to a studio, and I just wanted to make songs. That's it, you know. When I did Just Friends, it's because I just wanted to make a song. I wanted to make it as hot as I could make it. You know, I did Girl Next Door. I just thought it was a cool idea, and I just wanted to do it. You know, and love, all of these ideas. Like that's just what I just wanted to do. I wasn't thinking about songs that were gonna be on an album. I wasn't even really thinking about people listening to them. I was just, because that was the first time I had access to a studio, so I was learning myself through the studio. Like I always knew how to sing, but singing in the studio, you just hear it and listening to yourself back is like, okay, this is kind of different, you know. So I just wanted to do that a little bit more, so I can get a grip on my sound, you know, as it were, whatever the case may have been. But I had accumulated so many songs, and my managers at the time shot me a deal, and Def Jam picked up on it, and they were like, "Yo, we can put these joints out." And I'm like, "No, that wasn't even practice. I was just doing stuff." They were like, "No, these are hot. They raw, and that's what we need." I'm like, "Okay, all right, let's put it out." You know, so people hear it and they call it a classic, and I'm like, well, maybe y'all should hear what I was trying, what I wanted to do then, because I was just doing something. Maybe if y'all heard what I really wanted to do. And the thing is, I never got to do that, because ever since then I had everybody else that was surrounding me at the time, you know, always trying to get me to do another I Just Want to Sing. And I'm like, dude, that's never going to happen, because I wasn't trying to do that when I was doing that. So Just Listen was trying to make another I Just Want to Sing, you know. Soul Star was me trying to get away from that, but I was kind of like on a line. I was kind of 1 foot in and 1 foot out. I was kind of, okay, I don't want to distance myself from the I Just Want to Sing audience, but I'm trying to reach over here and do other stuff too. And then around the time when that album came out, there was a whole lot going on in the music industry. Def Jam was shifting. The internet really hit, you know, the music industry. So record sale, everything just shifted, you know. So that album came out in a weird time. And then Love and Music was trying to do another I Just Want to Sing, basically. On My Radio was trying to do another, basically saying I was on a Soul Star, trying to get away, but you know, it didn't really work out, you know. And then now we have Music and the Magic. Music and the Magic was an attempt at just tapping into a much broader audience, but something got lost in translation. You know, there's a lot of good. Now, please don't mistake what I'm saying. Throughout each project, they were all great songs, you know, in one way or another. However, none of them were anything close to what my musical intentions are, you know. And it trips people out when I say that, because they're like, well, how come you're not doing what you want to do? It's because I call myself being a team player, you know. Unfortunately, not everybody shares that same sentiment. So pretty much all of that to say, I'm at the point where I feel as though it's only fair, not only to myself, but to you guys, for me to really be a little more, just do a little bit more or do a lot of it more of what my actual intentions are, rather than trying to please the label, trying to please radio, trying to please Billboard or the Grammy Foundation or anybody. Let me just make music, man. That's all I want to do. I spent 12 years trying to please everybody, and somebody is always unhappy. Okay, well then if somebody's going to be unhappy anyway, well then I would much rather you be unhappy because I did the best that I can do, not because I was trying to compromise and get in where I fit in, whatever, all of that safe crap. Like, I'm good now. Like, let me, and if you don't like it, then hey, then it's not for you. But one thing I'll never be able to live down is knowing that I didn't give my best because I was thinking too much. I need to stop thinking and I need to start doing it. And hopefully you guys will dig it.
It's great stuff, man.
Yeah.
Is anything you'd like to add?
No, that's it. I'm good.
Cool. Where can people check out the book? And
oh yeah, you can go to www.didpub.com, didpub.com. It should be everywhere electronically now. I think they just did the electronic release, so you don't have to worry about waiting for for your book to get to you. I mean, you can still get the book, actual book, if you want to get that. However, nowadays with new technologies and anything, you can just download it, and it should be everywhere.